Hello, Serge here from the back tee. I recently did a daily where a question was asked about should we have swing thoughts when we practice. We know we have to have that, but should we also have them while we play? And my answer was unequivocally absolutely yes. While you play, we need them all the time. And I mentioned in that response that you should keep notes. And so I thought I'd do this one today just about my notes. As you can see here, these are my daily notes of when I go to the range and practice. This book actually goes back all the way to February 9th, 2004. And unfortunately for the last couple of years, there isn't a whole lot of entries into it because I hardly ever find myself enough time to practice and make it worthwhile. But going back to the main point I want to make about this today is that we all heard that, and I've read that Ben Hogan never went to the practice tee without a paper and pencil to keep notes. And why? Because no matter how important things are, our daily lives are so involved that it's hard to remember things. And so what good is it to find a good swing thought and forget it? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I have a great story to tell you that happened to me. Back about 4 or 5 years ago when I was playing in the Carolinas PGA senior events, and I was Player of the Year in 2002, and again repeated as Player of the Year in 2007, and had like at least 3 years where I was runner-up. So I still wasn't practicing a whole lot, but enough to keep my game going, and I was playing quite well. And I had a stretch for a while where I wasn't practicing much, but and all of a sudden my game was slipping, like usually happens if you don't practice. And so I had this really big tournament coming up, and I decided to make some time and go practice a little bit. So working on my swing, I really found something good. I actually took my camera out and videotaped myself. I mean, I videotape everybody else, but never myself. And I looked at it, and I found some things, and I worked on it. And I found something that really was good. Went out and played after I found it, and it really worked well. And of course, I said, that's it. I'm going to. This is so good, I can't forget it, and I'll have it. And this is going to really make me hit the ball well. Well, the next day I went to the golf course. I drove to the tournament, played a practice round. Never dawned on me. Warmed up the next day, before the first round, and never thought about it or did it until I got to the tee, and I was sitting down here and doing my little bit of meditation that I do before I tee off. Get quiet and do some little bit of meditating and get into the really good psyche of playing golf. And all of a sudden it dawned on me, whoa, I got to do. What's my swing thought? I had a really good swing thought, and I couldn't think of it for the life of me. I say, oh, come on, this was so good, I can't forget it. How could I forget it? And I mean, I'm getting somewhere between nervous and angry with myself that I forgot it. And so fortunately I was the third guy up. We play in threesomes, and by the time I got to the tee, and I just keep thinking about it, come on, you got to figure this out. And by the time I got up on the tee, and as I pegged the ball up and I came back, it like popped into my brain. I said, okay, thank you. I made a practice swing or two with that swing thought, stepped up, just ripped it down the middle, and went on and played well and won that tournament by about 5 or 6 shots. And that's what brought me back to reality about the swing thought book, because if I would have had it in my book, there wouldn't have been any panic or actually tremendous disappointment if I couldn't figure out what it was and remember it, period. So that thought's in here somewhere, because this book's about 2/3 filled up. And the swing thoughts are not only for the swing. I mean, you practice some chipping, some pitching, hitting out of bunkers, and especially putting. If anything comes to mind and it seems good and it's working, put it in the book. So use it for your entire game. Even if there's some thoughts about when you were playing, you thought about something, you got a good count for your rhythm, or sing a song or hum a song or whatever while you're playing. Whatever works. If it seems to work, put it in the book, and it's there for future reference. And as I said, these things can change, and sometimes just sit down and read your own little book about your little game, for both physical and mental, and whatever works, and get it in this book, and you got your own little history of what's worked well for you. And so your answer's in here, as well as the fact that we know that when secret number 5 says if you hit a bad shot and you ask yourself, what did I do wrong? The answer is, who cares? Now that's when you're playing out and around. Who cares? Do the next shot right. Well, the next shot right is working on your fundamentals to get a good grip, because we know the setup determines the motion, and then go to the basics of the swing. And in this case, what's better than your own swing thoughts that have worked and worked well in the past? So put them where you can't forget them. Reference them quite often, and just keep yourself updated on what you're doing. Keep it fresh in your mind, and it's going to help you make better swings, to hit better shots, and shoot those lower scores. Okay, well that's it from the search for today about keeping your notes and keeping them handy. This never leaves my golf bag. And with that, you'll be playing better golf. So with that, I'm signing off for today, and I'll be talking to y'all again soon.